Hey, I think we're live. Are we live? I believe we are. Stabby, what's up, dude? Static, Jacob, Daddy Longlegs.
Hey, Jacob.
Well,
Longlegs.
excuse me.
Is that what I sound like?
My YouTube was not muted. That's not normal.
Ah, Chris,
My
what's up, dude?
apologies.
¿Cómo estás? Here we go. They say the long journey starts with a single step, right? And this is a long journey. We saw the results of round one, and it actually was not as bad as I feared it would be. I thought the cutoff was going to be at least 150 million. So let's see what we can do. I'm going to jump into this. I am taking it seriously. I did already get Shang-Chi, not from grinding. Oh, look, they even put an arena wins event on for me. That was very kind of them. So this is about awakening him. I do have a skill at awakening gem. I hold on to awakening gems, though. Like, they are valuable outside of the game and valuable in real life. So I would like to awaken him and see if we can. So that's the goal here. I will be quick to cut out, though, if I realize it's just not happening. I'm going to do today for sure without refreshes and using the boost, because I just want to see what's possible and then look to make a strong close off of stream. Because I did watch, I think it's Max's video. Yeah, it was Max's video. He did a very good video, I think, with a lot of advice on grinding. And one of the things he pointed out was how much faster he went when he was not streaming. And so I'd rather stream, talk, hang out, and then when I'm doing the refreshes, maximize them as best as possible, and probably do that off stream. What's up, Spinnaker? How you doing, dude? Big Germ, what's going on? Jacob. All right, I'm going to jump into this. Let's get some questions going. Let's talk about this. What did you all think of the arena? Obviously, I'm aware there's a lot of some negative feedback. It seems like it is now significantly harder for people who rely on the arenas to get units, to get the units that they want. How is it feeling? How has that affected you? It looks like Static is saying he did the first round. How did it go? I assume you got Shang-Chi. Did you get the 5-star or the 6-star? Also, do not hesitate to point out to me if I am saying Shang. That's just from 40 years of hearing it as Shang, and I am working my best to say it properly, which is Shang, right? I want to say it properly. Is Void good for 7.1.6 when? I don't remember. I think I used Mysterio. DLL, who did you use?
Yeah, I used Mysterio. Magneto works. I believe Void does not. There are a lot of options.
There's a reason why I'm thinking Void doesn't work, and I can't remember why. Like, why I was initially drawn to using Magneto. Or, I'm sorry,
There's some kind
Mysterio.
there's some kind of regen rate issue or something. Well, no, it can't be completely immune to regen rate, because that would be, then mags wouldn't work. But there must be something about debuffs.
Why wouldn't I use Warlock? That's really weird. All right. Here we go.
Selective time stream can't be modified by regen rate mods, and yet Magneto works. We're just whatever.
Rob, what's up, dude? How have you been? Been super busy. Well, that answers that. But finally have some time to myself. Good for you, dude. We got to make time for those things. Can't wait to watch you grind. Yeah, I'm pumped up for this. I'm extremely grateful that that DLL is on the call, right? I always am grateful, but this one more than ever. And so we're going to get to this. Let's get to this. Let's update this. Rob, I am also going to leave up OG Highline because they came in and made a rather large donation as I was finishing the last stream, and I told them, like, I'm going to leave that up there. I don't even know if they're watching today or not, but I said I would do it, so I want to. So we're going to get both of you guys up there.
Oh, that's what it is. Selective time stream removes debuffs, doesn't it? Or no, because whatever. It ignores active debuffs. It's been a while since I looked at it.
And we're about to fill our heads with all kinds of 7.2 information now as well. So that'll be fun. Which will start, I think, on Wednesday, right? Spinnaker saying section 50 can't be modified by regen rate mods. So there we go. What's up, Snoops? Kim Jong, what's up? Static sick. Oh, you got the 6-star. You were ranked 69. Holy smokes! How much? If you don't mind, how much reviving or not reviving, refreshing did you need to do? If you're comfortable sharing that knowledge. What makes the Gwen fight hard? I'm not flexing that she is easy to fight. I haven't reached her yet.
Oh, that's because it's not just Gwenpool. If you if you haven't reached it, then that's the issue.
Yeah. You know what's weird is there's just fights that I obviously do struggle with, and there's some I don't. I don't recall struggling with that fight because they don't even have the SP3 animation, right? There's no SP3 if I remember correctly.
Right. I mean, if you use one of the counters, then it's a very slow, safe fight. If you use someone who doesn't counter the node, it's almost unwinnable.
Yeah, that's kind of how I recall it. I also think Germ on the big CGR video I did, I think that's the fight he soloed because there was a very short amount of time where if you did enough damage, you could beat her, and maybe he was awakened. He had a little heal block in there too. If that sounds right. I don't know.
That makes sense. Well, you can also... You don't normally use L1s when you're trying to kill things with CGR, but those incinerates could save you if you didn't quite do enough in one rotation.
But that makes a lot of sense too. Z, what's up, dude? I feel like you're usually asleep by the time the stream starts, so this is really cool. I'm glad you're able to make it. I think you'll be okay. The roster is great size. Yeah, so Static, the roster size was what made me initially start. Well, the fact that you could get a 6-star through it, that's what made me be like, I'm not going to just do arena just to kind of get some units and some milestones in. I think I might actually try to get the champion. Was that it was a 6-star. That it's Shang-Chi made that even more of an incentive, of course. My roster is what makes me think I have a shot. Because I don't want to, now that I actually have him as the, now that I actually have him as the 6-star, I got really lucky there. I do not, this is something I need to practice, is doing this and talking at the same time. I don't want to go too crazy on the refreshing and things to get him, and so it's going to come down to time. It's going to come down to time for me. There was no way it was going to happen this weekend with all the things I had that I wanted to do with my family. And so now it's about pushing aside as much work things as possible. And we'll see how it turns out. That's why I don't want to start refreshing and using my boost yet, too. I have a lot of 6-star boosts. And I have quite a bit of those. I think they're called Supreme something crystals saved up. Like, I think I have 511 shards. So I could open them. And Z, I think you and I chatted about this. I'm actually starting to formulate my next long-range plan, and I don't want to spoil anything, but I actually did an opening today that I was not expecting to do, and it was one of the pieces that I needed to fall into place, and by golly, it actually did. Like, the statistics of it falling into place are not high. I know, I can't believe I said by golly. By golly, gee willikers. And it actually worked. I am pumped up, and I'll probably get that out tomorrow. Or Thursday. Not going to be a lot of time to edit videos and add music to them in the next few days, is my understanding.
Yep.
Vega, your roster's big enough that you can probably ring for hours straight without... Yeah, I don't think the issue is going to be the amount of champs. That is for sure. I think the issue is more going to be how long can my back handle me sitting here, and how long can my fingers handle it. And then, of course, I've taken a couple of days off work. But just the way my job is, I almost never really am able to take a day off. It's more me pushing, getting projects done, getting things done early. But if something happens, I need to take care of it, and I of course will. This is very different. Like I said, usually when I do arena, I'm just shooting to get milestones. I'm having fun. I'm watching someone else's stream or catching up on videos. The doing it yourself, I feel like there may be strategies that I am not taking advantage of, but I am not overly worried about how I do with my 5-stars. It's the 6-stars that I think I should concentrate on. Does anyone have any advice on that deal? I feel like that's kind of what you were saying too. I remember correctly.
What, focus on the 6 stars?
Yeah, like I'm not trying to put together synergy teams or anything right now. I'm just trying to get to 5 wins, and then I'm gonna jump over to my 6 stars and just kind of go through them as much as possible, and then pay attention to when they come off refresh. The 5 stars
Yeah,
will be more
pretty
something to
much.
just do when I have when I have opening.
The one exception to that would be that when if you look at your boosts and you have particularly quick 5-star teams that you can slap bigger boosts on than exist for 6 stars, then that could actually be more efficient.
Okay. I think I'm going to learn a lot today. Because like this morning from getting my kids various places to starting this stream, I thought I was going to have about 45 minutes to get some work done. And of course, not only did I get no work done, but some things came up that need to be handled today. Like there's just nothing I can do about it. There's deadlines for tomorrow. So I'm going to learn a lot here about maximizing my time, maximizing boosts. And it does take a lot of pressure off that I did have him, because part of my plan that I'm talking about would be potentially doing this exact same grind for Mr. Negative. And so that's another reason why I don't want to waste my refreshes. I don't want to waste boosts if I'm not sure I'm going all in on Shang-Chi here, is because I think I will need those for Mr. Negative. And of course, if I'm at that point, I probably will open a few crystals, but while the drop rates have improved, it's far from a guarantee that you would get either, much less both. Have fun, guys. All right, Z, thanks for stopping by, man. I appreciate it. You probably already headed out. DL, is that your channel, man? In fact,
that's not this time. That is a Shang-Chi pronunciation guide.
Nice. You know, do you have the ability to pin your channel in the comments? I talked about it in a couple of videos this weekend. Multiple people asked, and it sounds like maybe I did not link it in the description of one of the videos. So that way, if they stop by,
okay.
we can point that out.
I do not have the ability to pin, but I can link it, and then when you give us a
yeah, I'll look up, and I can at least look up and pin something, right?
151. No, sorry.
Distract him so he can't do it.
Or sorry, it's 101 now, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, you actually kind of got me excited that I didn't need to make it all the way to 100. What's work is putting get your multiplier to 3 and start running 6s. Okay, that's what I'm doing now. Getting on them close as fast as possible is the most important thing. That's what I'm thinking. Work is I'm going to play to my strengths here, and the strength is clearly the 6-star roster, and so I'm going to play to that and maximize that. I've been saving those shards too. I have 93,000 shards and 84. Okay, so yeah, Marvel Contest of Champions, AC 344. You clearly know what you're doing too. And I saw that multiple Taters did the run, and I was able to catch a little bit of his video, and it felt like that's what he was in essence saying as well. He spent a lot of units though. I would like to not do that. I would really like to not do that at all.
Yeah, I saw his thumbnail there. That was intense.
Snoops, I feel like this is what was kind of referenced. Yeah, I think this is just kind of, growing up in the States in Southern California, I think it was just, we pronounced it Shang, and I would imagine the vast majority of us didn't realize we were doing it incorrectly. Like, I know I sure did not. And as a result, now it's just a habit. And so when I'm not paying attention or thinking fully on it, like when I'm doing an arena grind or a video, Shang may come out a few times. But just like that was a habit, I'm sure I'll eventually be able to get it to Shang-Chi.
Thanks, Rob. Appreciate that.
Oh, Rob, that's awesome, dude. And honestly, well, I think you know me. I legitimately think it's a great channel. Dale, you've had your channel for a little bit now, and I've been telling him from before he was ready or before he was comfortable with it that I thought the videos were very good and worthy of being shared out. So, yeah, I truly think one would become a better player by watching DLL's videos.
No name. It's not really, you know. I don't think we need to get into that, but it's just an issue of being polite. We're not going to put anyone in internet jail for getting it wrong, but we can put forth a little bit of effort.
Yeah, it's for me. It's not about being politically correct. I can see how that might get interpreted that way. Like, I don't feel like I'm maybe I don't feel like I'd be insulting someone by saying like, "Hey, I'm just having difficulty pronouncing your name." Like, if I introduced myself as Vega and they were like Vaga, I'd be like, "No, it's Vega, Vega." And if just over time I realized they just can't make the ve sound, like, all right, cool, it is what it is. But I appreciate them making the effort to try to say it properly.
Yeah. I mean, you're talking to someone. My last name personally is
Yeah, right.
is Spanish.
I almost said my real name. Sorry, I feel like you just did the same thing.
Yeah, but it's Spanish, but it's an unusually rare Spanish last name. And I am a 6 foot plus, extremely white guy who looks more Dutch than Spanish. And so people look at it and they, for some reason, think that it's Slavic.
Oh,
I've spent the vast majority of my life having my last name mispronounced. I don't get bent out of shape about it, but I also very much appreciate it when people either make an effort to get it or just unexpectedly get it without me telling them.
Yeah,
It's kind of nice.
it's like I think we talked about this one with because it kind of came out in the movie, right? And I think the actor is the one who's kind of pushing this a little bit. And then I think Feige actually said it this way in a press conference or something. But the analogy for me was it's very familiar to me, like in my family growing up. There's a decent size of my family, portion of my family, who has an Italian background. And there's a decent size of my family, or part of my family, who has a Spanish-speaking background. And so the Italian side would still, to this day, would call them tortillas, right? and the pronunciation is obviously tortilla. They know it. They don't mean any offense by it. They're doing their best. It's just in their language, two L's aren't pronounced by a Y. They've spent 70 years saying it that way. Like, I don't know. I don't like. I think we're maybe smart to move off the topic, but I don't think this is like a necessarily offensive thing either way.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, just one last thought because I don't think this is problematic, but like my girlfriend is Indian, and the way it's been transliterated, it often looks very similar to the way that we write Spanish, but the vowels don't always line up, and the emphasis almost never does in terms of like which syllables that you're supposed to accent. And so like I'm getting better, but man, when I started dating her and she started going over some of the rules, I was like, I am so sorry that I have been pronouncing South Asian words with a like clear American Spanish accent for as long as I've been alive.
Yeah, it is what it is. We're all doing our
happens.
best. I love how Meta comes in and says DLL.
Yeah.
All this talk about names. No, Mr. Building. So that's the thing with it, right? It's like, and I think it's like
my first two names are as white as they get.
Yeah, I think it's Key and Peele did the skit, right? And again, let's be honest, we'll be who we are. Sorry if anyone's offended by any of this, but it's like they're having teachers mispronounce things, and the teachers like getting it's a substitute teacher, and they're getting names like Wojciechowski correctly. Yeah, it's like it's not they're not boring. They are in fact incredibly not boring. They're extremely not boring. It's just in the United States we're really used to them. That's all, right? Like Wojciechowski just rolls off your mouth, like rolls off your tongue, right? And it's not because he was the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers a very, very long time ago. Nilo, what's up? Dude, I thought it was Nilo for forever. I thought it was Nilo. Yeah, Aaron. That's right, Mark. You've obviously seen it.
Yeah, the one that I see a lot of comedians bring up is that there are an awful lot of people who don't get other names right, but don't blink at Emily Ratajkowski.
Yeah, there you go.
If you can get that.
I think I'm thinking of the wrong person, by the way. Who's Emily Ratajkowski?
She's a model, but she was just very popular on the internet for a while, and her last name is Eastern European, and thus like objectively complex.
Is she the Brazilian model?
I don't think so.
Okay. Got it. Anyways, people are like, I know what he's talking about. And Mr. Building's first name is Aaron, which makes this even funnier, by the way.
Sappy says, I'm Indian and have yet to hear my first name pronounced correctly. Yeah, I get it. And part of it is just because, like, you know, it's such a complex part of the world, right? There's so many Indian languages.
Yeah. It's funny because, like, I partially want to get off of this topic because I feel like it could go in some really negative areas. Right. But then I see everyone and I'm like, I feel like we're all similar in that we're like, it's something to be sensitive to, but it's also not something to be outraged by. I apologize if that's not your thinking, and I don't think I want to apologize anymore for that. I don't think that should be an offensive statement.
Well, and I'm bad at getting off of this because I legitimately find language really interesting.
It is. I mean, dude, like, again, growing up in the United States, for the most part, we all speak English, but like our versions of English are so incredibly different from each other. Like, you literally just drive to a different part of your state, depending on which state you live in, and it's different. They use different words, and their accent is different. How did we get here? Were we talking? Yes, that's exactly how it happened, Nilo. It's Shang-Chi. I eventually need to pick a team and start. You actually have to do the arena to get points, right? That's how it works. What am I doing?
Yeah.
Who's the third?
Although,
isn't there a third?
What did Works?
Go for it.
I was just looking back to what Work said about that. Yeah, get your multiplier to 3 and start running 6 stars. I don't think you need to worry about refreshes until you get to like 15, right? Because you want to get through the like Kang and Thanos teams because they take longer.
Okay. Well, so I think
somebody can correct me on that.
I personally feel, here's what my sense is going into this, is today, meaning the next 24 hours. So if I stream this tomorrow at 10, we'll have a really good indication if I should go, quote unquote, go for it or not. Not only will I know like how many points I'm getting, but I'll know what my week truly looks like. If I truly am like able to kind of take a day off or two, or am I really not? And if it looks good and possible, then I'll jump in. I'll start using the 6-star boost, and then I will go serious on the refresh. I don't know how many I'll go for, but I'll jump in on that. And so day 2 and day 3 will look very different than day 1. This is kind of like just kind of testing this out, and then also, like I said, getting a sense for my week. I don't want to take a weekend to do this. By the same token, like I said, I can't really ever take a day off. Well, I've done that a few times, but it's very rare.
Yeah, Work says just get through your 6 stars. Don't even worry about refreshes yet.
Okay. I feel like there were some people who I didn't say hi to, so we'll go back in the chat here. Mr. WTF, what's up, dude? I've been saving Grandmaster for July 4th to get all of Cab and then all of Thronebreaker deals. Some say it's possible, some say it's not. Can I? So they're going to get all of the Cab deals, then become Thronebreaker and get the Thronebreaker deals. That's how I'm interpreting that. Are you interpreting the question the same way?
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty clear, but
I'm going to be honest, I just wouldn't, even if you can. Oops.
What's that?
Oh, I was just running incursions for milestones with a friend, and we ran into a rather nasty Darkhawk that you should really look down while you're fighting.
Oh, those were 2 donations. Nilo, thank you for pointing that out. What are the chances of that? Mr. W2, yeah. So my concern is, I think it was possible. There was a big deal holiday where it was, and then I feel like there was maybe one where it wasn't, or it wasn't clear if it was going to be. So my concern on that plan, while it makes a lot of sense to me, like if that's what you want to do, I get it, and I see the maximizing of it. My concern is like, what if this is the holiday? What if this is the July 4th where Kabam's like, yeah, we're not doing that. But I think, if you're going to spend the holidays like July 4th, clearly spring cleaning now, and Black Friday, Cyber Monday, those are clearly the days to do it. Let us know if that didn't answer your question, though, dude. Please let us know. And then get to 3 times, then pull from the top of your 6 stars, and you'll be A-okay. Not to duplicate type class. Don't waste time with synergies. I spent 2 minutes. Okay, thank you very much. Yeah, I could tell I already was wasting time, like trying to get like a synergy there that really wouldn't make a huge difference. But I also hear what you're saying too about getting through the potentially more difficult fights. It's really difficult to not pay attention to the teams. Like I want my I like my little synergy plans.
I know exactly what you mean.
What's up, Mega? How you doing, buddy?
You can use Mr. Fantastic in arenas without Sentry or She-Hulk? That sounds wrong.
I hate not being able to use pre-fight champions properly in arena.
Yes.
That's really bothersome.
Yeah. Oh, I'll just use this torch for void. Nope, no, I won't.
Yeah.
I'll do something else.
I mean, trust me, there are a million other things, and it probably is a million that I said that figuratively, but it might be literal as well, that I wish Kabam would fix first. But that is up there for me. It really is. And I don't do arena that frequently. Jealous of that Duke KM. Would love to get my... Dude, Soups, like, KM is so good. I did the rankings video, and I knew that he would get the most flack. And actually, it was pretty cool. He didn't get that many. The video didn't get a ton of views by relatives to the previous one. So I think it might be a little bit that people who already watched my channel and know how I feel about Killmonger and how DLL feels about Killmonger. So there wasn't too many like new views who were thinking this dude is insane. But, yeah, I think he's one of the. I think he fits the definition of top shelf, the definition we've put out there. News. Is it go for it?
I literally did that. I maxed mine and then took him to rank 3.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
What?
Nilo says, sorry, I don't see it. Megafart says Killmonger overrated.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're allowed to have. You're allowed to disagree. That is for sure. You're allowed to disagree. Team Killmonger. Oh, but Nilo included a thumbs down. You didn't tell me there's a thumbs down emoji. I didn't see that.
Well, Nilo at least says I don't see it. That allows for the possibility of being wrong. Megafart says overrated. I just think that that's flat out wrong because everyone who says like, "Oh, let's go through the top skill champions," and then they always forget Killmonger. Like, whatever you think of him, whether you think I'm overrating him or not, he is not overrated.
Maybe Mega saying that I and you are overrating him. Jacob is insulted by Nilo. This feels like it's going to a bad place. Let's see.
Dreamin says Killmonger is a solid B-.
Yeah, but that's because
Dreamin likes to dramatize everything.
Yeah, and also Dreamin only has like 5 champions that are above B-. Kazuri, all cinematics MCU. So, dude, DL, he left, so I can say this without him getting upset. I like when the really awesome like comic book champions and the movie champions that we enjoy, I like when they're powerful in the game. I understand that like they can't all be as amazing as they are. Like I do understand the argument. I just enjoy it if Spider-Man's great. Like I do, because I like Spider-Man. That's part of why I'm so happy that Shang-Chi is great. I know that he's not as famous as like Captain America and these sorts of things, but that was someone I enjoyed. I had reasons outside of the game for wanting him to be great, and so it was cool. I'm very happy that has happened. Came not even top 10 skill. Mega farts. You got me to say mega farts. I haven't said mega farts since like you first started showing up on streams. Who were your top 10 then, buddy? If you don't mind. And you know me, I'm joking around. I'm having fun with this. But I am curious who your top 10 skill are. I'm very, very curious. Did I forget about Jabari Panther already? Shang-Chi will do that to you, dude. Shang-Chi will make you forget everyone. I almost forgot about Strife there for a few seconds, and I really like Strife. I really like Strife. Gwenpool came out firing. What is that? There we go. This synergy makes Mordo absolute blast to play. If you guys haven't had a chance to play around with it, Mordo becomes a absolute. Well, he's not a stud. I think Dreamin would rate him like a C. Damadeus, what's up, dude? You're driving for the 5-star? I hope you get him. Mega, sorry, he can't accept fast. Let's see. This is true. Dreaming grades on a curve. Well, you're a teacher. It makes sense. It makes sense. Nyla, I respect people who like and use Killmonger. I just can't see what's so amazing about him. A lot of Billish Gamer who can do what he does. I'm not sure, dude. Nyla, honestly, and maybe you already have. Like, who are the champions you feel like can do what Killmonger can do, and are also what you can see better? Not saying you're wrong. Not yet, anyways. I'd like to see your list, and then we'll cover if you're wrong or not. Dreamin, I rate DLL as a C+. No. Oh, then I'd hate to see... Actually, so what do you rate me as, buddy? I want to know. I want to be rated. Let's do this. Let's have fun with it. It's not often you get honest feedback. Did I see KT's morning stream? No. Did something crazy happen, Nyla? My mornings are a mess, dude. Or they're not a mess. I just don't have any time to go outside of like my very strict plan of what I need to get done. Terrence is pretty cool after the buff too. Not gonna lie. I was actually tempted to rank 3 this guy. Should actually do a video on it. Although I'm pretty sure I'm not going to rank 3 him. At least not anytime soon. I'm gonna save this for I think either Hercules or if I really need someone for war, or a crazy prestige champion comes out. But as time goes on, I think CGR's prestige is high enough. I think he would be my first rank 4 champion for prestige. I'm a solid B. I am very curious what you're ranking on that, because that is or grading on. What are the criteria? Because that is a very high score for me. I think that is very high. People say
Freeman's just trying to get a reaction, because I mean, he even commented, and I quote on one of my recent war videos, "When did you get so good?" So clearly, he's a big fan of mine.
Freeman's awesome. Mr. W2F, he had a question in there. There's only 2 champs that can take special 3s without taking damage: Ghost and Killmonger. That's how good he is. That is, I hadn't even thought of that sort of stuff. In fact, is that even true?
I'm looking at it.
Does his indestructible count for that?
Yeah, I mean, if there's no damage over time.
It's amazing.
But they are incorrect. They left out my boy Luke Cage.
You do love a good Luke Cage. That's true. You do, and you are not wrong. You are most definitely.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying he's top shelf at all.
No.
Luke gets left behind, and people look at his sig and they go, They read his sig at sig 20 and they go, I don't think I'd use that much, and then they forget that he has the rest of his kit, or that the skill, or that the sig can go up.
I don't know if I've ever.
And yeah, under certain conditions, thing also works for 0 damage.
That's true, in certain conditions. I don't know if I've ever paired Emma and Longshot near each other like that before. And I got strong Lannister vibes. I know I'm not the first one to say that about Longshot.
Oh yeah.
But it really felt like Cersei was there with him this time.
Dreamin says you get a B for skill, prestige, and how often you make me chuckle.
Ah, yes.
So I guess my C+ must be all skill, and then he gives me negative 3,000 points for prestige, and then maybe I get a little bit back on chuckling.
He dislikes you 3,000. I like that. I like what you did there. Yeah,
he does say he duped his Mr. Fantastic, though. Congrats.
Who did, Dreamin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I often say, because, as this becomes more and more a part of my life, I have friends who don't play the game, who are kind of like, they're not kind of finding out. They are. I'm telling them that I play this game and I have this channel and whatnot. And so they'll ask me about it. You know, like, well, what do you? And it's like, well, it's basically like infotainment. But I think I'm really big on I'm trying to be bigger on the entertainment side of things. So, as much as like we take it for granted, there's so many people out there who are still of the idea. They're like, people watch you play video games, like that's a thing. And it's like, well, no, they're not really. It's not like that, but it is in a way. Like you're informing, you're hanging out, you know, like whatever. Brian Grant.
Dreamin says I was right on. Oh, sorry. He just says my guess was correct. Skill is good. Prestige is very sad. Chuckle rating is solid. I can live with that.
Dreamin', any chance we start getting your ranking videos again? I actually really enjoyed those. Did more damage than I thought it would do.
Niraj shouts out that Luke is favorite champion for CaviQ. Yeah, for the current node, the fragility one, he is really, really good.
Dude, you know who else was good? I finally got a chance to play the game a little bit yesterday afternoon. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use Shang-Chi. I'm really excited. And I ended up having a tremendous amount of fun with Red Guardian in the science lanes, in the science quest.
Interesting.
I like that guy. I get it. I'm not going to try to say he's the best champion in the game, but
I don't even know enough to argue one way or the other about him.
Let's bring him in. Although this is a low sig one, but still, I don't know. There's something about him I like him. Rob, yeah. I'm 47. I love the game. I love watching all YouTubers. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it very well. But it feels for me a little bit of like, if you don't get it, I'm not going to be able to explain it to you. Like if you're of this age, and Rob, you and I are similar age, and I'm just now telling you that I even play this game, that probably means I already knew that you don't really enjoy games to begin with. And therefore, there's no way you're going to get why people like myself will show up on a stream and talk with people and have fun with that. Like I'm not going to be able to like explain that to you. That's kind of been my sense on it. Has anyone ever tried to have that conversation with someone and had it like go well?
I don't know. I did mention my small channel to some friends the other day, and they were like very confused. But one thing that I was saying, which I think they also didn't fully understand, is, well, I'm recording my fights anyway. And they're like, why? Well, because, in case I die, I need to go over it. I like to learn from my mistakes. I need to show models to other people. Whatever, they accept that. And then I'm like, well, if I'm recording them anyway, and then to just use the last one, if I'm going to send those fights to other people so that they can learn how to do them or how to do them better than I did them, then I'm probably going to include a discussion of said fights that I have to spend time thinking about and typing out. So I might as well just record videos anyway and tell them, go look at this timestamp in this video.
Yeah.
It's that or start keeping Word documents of like how to do different fights, and that sounds like way worse.
I'm trying to figure out this guy's like obviously there's nodes that could be problems for him. A debuff immune could be an issue for him.
Mm-hmm. You're talking about Red Guardian?
Oh, Shang-Chi, sorry.
Okay.
And I don't know how to play him very well. I've played him for probably 20 minutes, if that. I'm not seeing his non-obvious weakness. Like with Cosmic Ghost Rider, like the people I've talked to about him, I get excited about him for the same reasons I got excited about Cosmic Ghost Rider. With Cosmic Ghost Rider, there was a concern of being complex and not working in fights where you had to pay attention to a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing that with Shang-Chi at all. Like,
yeah,
it just feels like, yeah, he's going to struggle you need to apply a debuff and you need slow.
Yeah, because that's like he is a do this specifically champion, and the biggest place where those champions tend to run into problems, thinking of course of Claire as my top example, is when you have evades or unstoppable or some other mechanic that interrupts your ability to go for the specific combo you want. And he has slow.
Yeah.
So he instantly turns off the biggest threat to his specific playstyle. Like, he is going to have weaknesses, like you said. Debuff immune is going to be a problem. Stun immune is definitely annoying. Like, mechanics that heavily punish crits could be a problem for him, because he doesn't actually have ability accuracy reduction besides the slow, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Work shouts out that strike counter and special delivery are definitely going to get in his way. Like, there are going to be weaknesses, but outside of those weaknesses, he looks stupid strong. Like, just so much control over fights.
I was thinking I found a way to maybe kill Doom, but Doom's like, no, I won't let you kill me.
Yeah, that's a really bad matchup for him.
Yeah, it's just through even the mistakes I made. So, meta not to. Is Duke here, by the way? Duke, what's up, man? How am I doing in the Karina challenge? I have 3 of them done, I think. I did the Sabretooth and Labyrinth of Legends. I did the one where you end up fighting the Mordo boss. I definitely took the wrong path and whatever, but I have not spent units on it. And I was able to get a Corvus with True Strike, which made Mordo kind of actually fun. And then in a desperate attempt to get my Shang-Chi to rank 3, did the... I just did it. The one where you use Rogue to fight Crossbones. And that was actually fun, too. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was my favorite so far by a significant margin.
Yeah. And I took a lane. I'll probably put out like a guide or whatever video on it, although I'm sure other people have. But it's still fun to do it. Because there were fights where you could kind of heal up your champions, too. And I did it with a rank 3 rogue, and I think that's important for people to know. Like, you don't have to rank 5 her, you know. Right. Save your resources.
Well, you said the equivalent of, so you just used a boost instead of ranking her, right?
Yep, I have a lot of 30% boost, so that's exactly what I did. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, and for me, the biggest issue for a lot of these challenges is for me actually getting them to rank 3, because I don't have any of those gems sitting around. And so I still have to spend the basics and the alpha, which really annoys me getting them to rank 3. But for old champions like that, Rogue and Kamala, see, there we go again, Spanish pronunciation. But for Rogue and Kamala, by the time I get them to rank 3, I have those variant gems from 3 to 4, and so there's no reason for me to not take them the next step. Because there's no way I'm doing that with a rank 2 Rogue.
No, you would end up. Things will go wrong. Things will go wrong.
Yeah, it's just not worth it.
Omega probably already took off. He made a pretty funny joke about his top 10.
I saw that.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance. If you're still there, dude, I found that funny.
Real cute.
Yeah, I hope your class goes well. And Rob, I think Rob seems to be agreeing with what I was saying. This is going back a little bit. But I think you either know when you enjoy it or you don't. I see it like in my brothers. They're not that much older than me, but video games were not a part of like what they grew up with too much, and so they just don't get it. Like it, and there's it is what it is. J Nick, what's up, man? I appreciate it. We'll find out tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the kind of, am I really gonna sink into this and use boosts and things today?
Duke says, yeah, some of the Karina ones are fun. Didn't like the Grandmaster, just a money grab. Or, medical corrected him, probably meant the Collector. Yeah. Some of them are fun. I think it's pretty safe to say that I think 5 of them are the ones that I'm like, yes, more of this was good. Like, and you could even keep the rewards limited to those 5 because those aren't that ridiculous. But like, just that was fun. Brian Grant had a good term for it where he said that they breathe life into old content that's already there but we don't use.
Yeah.
I think that's very much true for the ones that don't feel like money grabs. Because, I mean, excuse me, but that Star-Lord one does not breathe life into Labyrinth of Legends. It
No.
gives me, like, traumatic flashbacks to taking it with a 4-star Star-Lord. And I'm not saying that's what Brian meant. I'm sure he was talking about, like, the 5.3.1 one, where I completely agree with him. But it's just the difference between one end of these challenges and the other is huge.
Yeah, the doing Labyrinth of Legends Star-Lord, that just, I don't want to do that at all in any way, shape, or form. I did, like you, I think to your kind of what you're saying though, I enjoyed Sabretooth. Now I also happen to be able to max out my Sabretooth, but I think that's part of it. These are things you're supposed to kind of prepare for. And I enjoyed that. And you know what stood out to me? That was just so immediately obvious. And I went in suspecting this. I feel like I probably said it. Was I am just a much better player now than I was when I did Labyrinth of Legends, which I should be. Like we most of us should be who've been playing this long. And so that was kind of fun too. Fights I thought were going to be really difficult and take forever weren't, because I know how to work around evades or like manipulating the defender's power or things like that. So I'm not looking forward to the Collector at all, and I'm not looking forward to the Royal, Inhumans, and Star-Lord. Those are the 3 that I will probably put off as long as possible. I'm not sure when and if I'll get them done.
Dreamman says he took the short path with Star-Lord and the Inhumans and has some choice words for Venom Pool, which does not surprise me.
Yeah.
Duke says Star-Lord wasn't bad. Yeah, I'm not expecting it to be like, oh, painful, I'm dying all the time, where I wasn't expecting to. Like, I know how to use Star-Lord. It's just, my comment there was more, it's not breathing life into something where I'm like, you know what I really haven't done in a long time? Used my Star-Lord to punch way above his weight class, take off a third of an opponent's health, and then die. I missed that. Like, that's kind of what I mean.
Those are not the good old days.
Yeah.
Am I doing... today's stream I think will be a bit longer. I'm trying to... if I can get through all my 6 stars, I will. I highly doubt it's going to happen. I watched Max's video on this. You know, it was interesting advice. But he said he definitely noticed how much faster he went when he was not on stream. And I think this grind will be one where I'm really going to need to maximize boosts and things at some point. And so what I'm trying to do today, and then obviously in this stream, is just kind of get a sense on, is this even going to be possible? And then buy myself some time for my professional life. Like I've taken the next few days off, but it's just the way my professional life is. I'm never able to fully take days off unless the last time I did it, my family and I were out of the country. And we were in Europe. That was the last time I truly was like, I'm off. Like, there's no problem that could come up that I will, or could reasonably come up, let's put it that way, that I will take the time to try to handle today. And so I'm technically off. That's the way it's going to go in my, oh wow, I just found a way to die. Yeah. That's frustrating. But anyways, so I need to get through today, see how it is with the champions, try to get my 6 stars going on the refresh, and then take a look at my professional life and see and make sure that this is going to pan out. And then if it is, I will start doing refreshes and boosts and things like that. We'll still stream this though. If I'm going big, I'll still stream this tomorrow and Wednesday for sure.
Yeah.
I'll need
Spinnaker asks... Oh, sorry, go on.
No, I'm just talking because I talk.
Spinnaker says, if Invisible Woman kept her force field on parries, would that be enough to fix her? Would that be too broken? I think if it was a flat she kept it on parries, it would make her possibly broken in certain matchups. Because there would still be places where it's like, oh, well, good luck parrying all of Cable's L1 without a Guardian type, perfect block for X seconds ability. She would still run into issues with that. But I think for other fights, it probably would make her a bit broken because she could just parry forever. She'd take no damage on parries due to the force field, and you could just stack those fragilities to insane levels. What I was thinking the other day, though, was that, like, what if she had an Elsa type counter where rather than it relying on parries, she could just cause the opponent to miss once without unpausing the invisibility every however many seconds, and you could scale it with her sig or something, so that way you can actually feed her force field and play up the defensive part of her kit as well, while using some skill to give yourself some flexibility on the offensive part of her kit. Because it's always struck me that her synergies with the other Fantastic Four are all defensive. Like, I mean, she helps Reed's debuffs last longer, but otherwise I think it's either perfect block chance or block proficiency. She makes everybody tankier, like significantly so. She really helps Thing and Torch feel stronger. But then herself, she's like the ultimate glass cannon, because you cut through that force field and then you're like encouraged to play risky, and maybe you get it back, maybe you don't. But I think if she was able to carefully and skillfully build up that force field and feel like she was getting more of a payoff offensively, she could actually be a lot of fun.
As you're saying it, Mr. Building, you got a shot. You got a shot, man. You definitely do. Yeah, Invisible Woman is... I ranked her up for defense, and I really wish I had never done that. Dude, it's so... You know, someone pointed out to me that you came close, man. I didn't know what to say. I didn't even reach out because I figured that's got to sting, dude. I'm sorry that happened.
That's brutal.
Because I assume you were going for the 6-star. And that's just a lot of time. That's a lot of time. Yeah, and I was pumped up for Taters. I was a little worried he wasn't going to get him. I was happy to see the cutoff was lower than I thought it was going to be. Imagine how much more reasonable the LO... That's also true. If there was no enrage timer, like even with Sabretooth, I was running into that. What's so funny?
I'm laughing at Nilo. Ah, yes, Invisible Woman. Make better, more invisible. I mean, yeah.
Huh?
Imagine if you could play Invisible Woman and have people miss her because of her invisibility and not go, crap, I wasn't trying to do that, now I've lost her whole ramp up.
Yeah.
Like, thematically, that's so stupid. It's like if the proper way to play Torch was to never light someone on fire.
You've heard me say this a million times. I think they just decide. They're like, okay, we're doing Invisible Woman. She's going to be a defender. How can we do that? Well, it makes sense if there's like a miss mechanic. Let's introduce that to the game. Okay, so and then they go about building her as a defender, and it feels like with some champions, it's just kind of an afterthought on is there a cool or fun way we can make them offensively viable without just crushing it as a defender. I mean, I feel that to me, I feel like they never come out and say that. They probably never will, or maybe they have, and I'm not aware. But it's the Ebony Maw problem, and it's why like it sounds like Ebony Maw might be getting buffed, but I'm not running out and ranking him because one, I've learned my lesson, and two, I just think he's designed to be a defender. I think that's his. I think that was the intention.
It's just the reason that I can no longer accept that, because I felt that way for a very long time.
Yeah.
The reason, I mean, the anime Spinnaker is saying in the Hercules dev diary that they do still ask that, are they an attacker or a defender? But I don't buy it anymore, because it's not just that it's clear that they've tried to make their recent champions viable on both. They've specifically said they want them to be viable on both. And so that leaves me with the impression that if they're only a defender, it means they didn't do their attacking concept properly. Mm-hmm. But the other thing is, I keep coming back to the Hulkbuster buff. Like, they built a way into the game for them to be able to have a champion be really dangerous on offense and defense, and to just split the kit there. And they could do that again. Like, if the problem with Maw is, well, we can't do X, Y, and Z to him because it'll just make him too cancerous on defense. Well, then only give him abilities when he's attacking. Like, even Apocalypse has, we all know how annoying Apocalypse is as an AQ boss. We've talked about that a bunch. It's very problematic and I don't like it. But he has abilities that only trigger when he's a defender. He has certain aspects of his ramp up that only trigger when he's a defender. Jabari works differently on defense than she does on attack. And there she's actually weaker on attack. They took away something. But they clearly have the ability and they've made the innovation, so to speak, to do that. They just need to do it more.
Yeah, I see. It would concern me. Like, I remember when the Hulkbuster buff came out, I was like, crap. Now I've got to learn 2 champions. Like, I'm all for the buffing and more people come up. What's up, Kingslayer? How you doing, buddy? Natalie, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. I'm all for that, and I like that. Sorry, I'm also reading chat now as I'm looking up the screen. PP's making me laugh.
Yeah, there's some stuff to catch up with.
I was like, I don't now want to have to learn 2 champions for a buff, much less if this starts being something they're going to do for the game. Like, I feel like they're struggling to create a champion and get them so that they aren't coming into the game with bugs as it is. If they now have to kind of have, like, it's not 2 full versions of a champion, but it just feels like more places for them to mess up. That being said, I'm with you. I understand what you're saying, and it makes a ton of sense. And then the other thing for me was, I should be more specific. I feel like they say, and they feel like they have said that, because I think you said it was Spinnaker who wrote that. They do. They say, is this an attacker or is this a defender? And they've started addressing that in their deep dives with Dave, it feels like, a little bit. I feel like what they do is they're saying, like, we want them to be viable on the other side, but there's still, like, a waiting, let's call it. Like, Shang-Chi, is he an attacker or defender? He's an attacker, okay?
Yeah.
And I don't know. This is just me theorizing, because this is how it feels to me for playing the game for so long. They're like, okay, is he a 10 out of 10? Is he an 8 out of 10? And they're like, let's shoot for somewhere between 9 to 10 out of 10 as an attacker. All right, should we make him defensive viably at all? Yeah, sure, because that's what we do. Let's make it between, like, 1 and 3. And that's where I feel like it happens. And then for them, between 1 and 3 is viable. So you end up with, like, Ebony Maw. Whereas a defender, he's clearly supposed to be like an 8. I think that was their intention. And then as an attacker, they're like, 1 and 3 is good. And like, okay, product done, ship it,
Yeah.
That's my sense. That's based off of...
Yeah, I totally get what you mean.
Yeah.
And I do think that there are champions where they are just designed as attackers. And I think that's completely fair. Like,
Shang-Chi appears...
I mean, yeah, Shang-Chi's a great example. I was trying to think of another, but, like, Angela. Like, she's almost completely useless on defense, even after her update. Like, I mean, she would be annoying on diss track now. But for the most part, she's useless on defense, and that's fine, because the point of this game is to play the characters. And so I think that it is more important that every character who is literally playable, as in you can add them to your roster, it is more important that every character feel playable than for every character to be dangerous on defense. Because, even Angela, when you're learning the game early on, if you just eat a combo or a special from her, you can die.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's why, like, it doesn't bother me when champions are clearly designed as just attackers. But if you say it's okay, this champion is just a defender, what you have just implicitly allowed is they are going to be boring as sin to use. There's going to be no payoff offensively.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't ever want to ship a product to this game, so to speak, with that.
All right.
See, there was some good stuff here.
Yeah. Oh, man, she's going to kill him. I was hoping I'd get to at least throw an SP2 here.
Yeah, those are always fun.
Yeah, this is very satisfying. And this is a rank 2 Nebula.
Yeah. Natalie says Sue's supposed to be the strongest of the Fantastic Four. I can totally see that because whenever they give somebody, it's kind of like the Magneto problem. They give somebody a nebulous power where it's like, oh, they can mess with light, and then eventually they go into it and they're like, oh, that's control over kind of a fundamental force of the universe. All right, let's delve into that power set. Oh, they're absurdly strong. So I can totally see that with her. That makes a lot of sense. Natalie also mentions Howard's auto mash is another good example of that, where it's like that doesn't feel like something you have to learn, but it's just like, okay, this champion is played a certain way on offense. That way would make no sense on defense. We're just going to throw in this auto mash that kind of does it halfway, and now you're good.
Yeah, that's true.
Or like imagine if when Domino had first dropped, what they had said is that her Sig, not that her Sig only scales with base attack, but that on defense her Sig only scales with base attack. And then you could build up other ways to actually use her crit fail offensively as part of her kit, and it might feel worth giving her Sig Stones. I get excited about this kind of stuff where it's just like, what if they had done this other thing? And I'm not mad at them for that because they've made a lot of innovations with Domino. I do give them some flack because I think they don't fully understood everything they did with Domino when they released her.
Yeah.
But I'm not saying like, oh, you came up with all these new ideas with Domino. Why didn't you come up with this other one? But I'm saying like, I bring that up because everyone's fought her. Because imagine if they do that going forward. Like, if Ebony Maw's degen only scaled with base attack as a defender, then you could change a lot more about his kit to make him more fun to play without making him scarier.
Yeah, Domino's a whole other thing. And yeah, if they knew all of that, then that was a bad decision. But we've got Domino and I love her, so there she is.
I mean, I fought her in my last war video, and I was like, all right, finishing up this Domino fight, only lost 33% of my health to random degen and block damage. That sounds about right. Moving on.
Yeah, well done. All right, we got a rank up question here. I keep looking up, and I have to look back down, so I haven't been able to read it. Unawakened, Professor X. So I am as much as I understand and I believe that Colossus is a good champion. I have a Sig 160 6-star that I have not taken above rank 2.
Yeah.
I personally, I would, if you really like him, and he does have all those immunities, so he's going to help you through a variety of places. So, like, if he's filling a role in your roster, fulfilling a role and filling a hole, and like that's when you can just bring up, and they're going to be able to take a ton of stuff for you. He's good for that. He's great for that, actually. So maybe it would make sense to take up the Awakened Colossus. I just personally prefer Professor X. I prefer playing Professor X. But if they don't help you get through the content, you're not going to play him. So I would maybe lean towards Colossus. It just
I strongly agree. I mean, I'm going to do my best to bring somebody else's opinions into this without strawmanning them, but I know that Karate Mike is a really big fan of Colossus. And every time I've talked to him about this, his response is, well, you can build a team around him, and then he's ridiculous. That doesn't work for me because I generally don't enjoy building entire things around teams. And that's coming from somebody who, a lot of you know how much I love Mr. Fantastic. He's really fun with the full Fantastic Four synergy, but I would not have ranked him if that was the only thing he could do. That's just like a cool thing I can do with him sometimes. I also love using him on his own. And Colossus, I don't love using him on his own. He's fine. He's a very solid champion. I usually lead with him in sabotage incursions because he can do X, Y, and Z really well. But the other reason that I lead with him is because I don't feel like he's good enough to save me if I bring him in later, if that makes sense.
One thing I forgot to point out is, and watch, it won't happen in this. in this one today, but over the course of this grind or future grinds, especially if I go for Mr. Negative, is I match for whatever reason. I match Willpower, well, WP Gladiators. I can't think of what alliance he's in right now. I match him a ton. Like, I don't know if that's how they do arena. Like, do they put you into a pool of like only 100 people and you just play them a lot? But I match him.
I've definitely run into multiple people.
And it's the same people, right? Is that we're saying the same thing? It is really weird. I run into him a ton, and I feel like this Riz account is what's making me, reminded me. I feel like I've played them. I don't even know. I don't know what the statistics are. I haven't kept stats on it. I probably should over grind because it might be a fun
Well,
thing.
and it's the same specific teams sometimes. There are some that I run into.
Oh no! I just match Willpower Gladiators, WP Gladiators. It's weird. It's really bizarre.
Yeah. Spinnaker says, as much as I hate fighting Fury, I think he's a great example of simultaneous good attacker and defender. Yeah, I agree. I think he is slightly over-tuned on both, and I've thought that since he was launched, but he's definitely both. Blah says, does Mole Man True Strike work when he is in Frenzy? One thing, it is true accuracy rather than True Strike. There are some places where that comes up. It's not supposed to, but there are currently ways to access it. He is still bugged as far as I know.
Duke is
Richard Belding is saying he's fixed now, but that would be news to me.
I just used him in Arena, and he was definitely not. Yeah, I'm pretty confident on that. But that was yesterday. And Duke Gladiators is back in NY. That's cool. He's a good dude. I've played alongside him off and on for a while now. For a few years. We've chatted a few times. Seems like a good dude. OG Highland, there you are, buddy. I told you I'd leave you up there, and so we definitely did. So I appreciate it. Appreciate the donation, of course. This is going pretty well, man. So if you can just stay on the phone for the next 72 hours, and everyone in the chat, if you all can hang out, this is going to be cake. We got no problems. What are the chances of that happening, huh? Nilo.
Oh, that's right. This is the boss.
You're fighting a boss?
I was like, why is this guy working so differently? Oh.
Nilo, I gotta disagree with you on Moon Knight, man. As much as I like his costume and spinning around with his pole there, I think we're hoping for a buff for our buddy Moon Knight when his TV show comes out. It's a TV show, right? They're doing a TV show, not a movie.
Yeah, I believe so.
Howdy from Texas. What's up, man? Fury is a pain on defense. Natalie, Fury is like the bane of my MCoC existence. I have him down on most nodes in War, but there are a couple nodes I am still definitely struggling with him. One of them is the heavy hitter. It's just a different timing on interrupting his heavy, and so that causes a bit of a problem for me. And then let's get Storm going. Man, there's a lot of cool stuff with Storm. And then
sorry.
No, go for it.
I don't know why I thought you were done.
No. I'm never done, man. I can talk and talk. My oldest child is the same way. Oh, man. I must have drove my parents insane.
My brother's like that.
Yeah. Just stop talking. Anyways. Where was I? Oh, yeah. And so the redoubled determination I have, I actually like Archangel versus Fear on redoubled determination because it helps push you to the SB2. DLL and I talked about that quite a bit. We both had the same kind of like, yep, that's will work. And what's the other one? It's powerful from afar with kinetic transference. Just because I'm blocking
that one's just
yeah,
it's difficult because of the L1.
Yeah, but it is what it is. Magneto's not shock. He is right. He takes reduced damage from shock. How am I going to kill?
Yeah,
this
he's
Magneto?
shock resistant.
We'll use Jabari and see what happens, and consider ourselves lucky. This could be an interesting one if I try to do something fun and end up dying because of it. there's nothing in his kit that makes you think that the defender is going to be more aggressive or that it's safe to intercept with Black Panther. And yet, I very rarely get punished.
His animations are beautiful.
You think that's it? They're like, okay, we're going to do this through animation.
Yeah, I'm telling, because you watch him go in, and it's just his leg, like the hip, and they could have coded that so that something above or below the actual foot would still count as him getting hit. But I think they were very careful with his hitbox this time, so that like you have to intercept him, you have to actually hit his leg, which makes it a lot harder for the defenders to do weird things. Yeah, and just kind of intercept you by chance.
I'm not going to say I've never been punished, but the times it has, I feel like it's kind of my fault in a way. Like I've done it late or something of that nature. I mean, I would be scared as heck to try that out in war. But he is a champion who, as I've used just kind of here and there since we did the initial testing and then that video, he is growing on me, and I'm struggling with, is he growing on me because I have him at rank 3, or is he legitimately like better than I feared he was when the buff went live? BK, what's up, dude? Appreciate you stopping by, man, and on all the comments on the videos. I really do appreciate it, and thank you. I've had a lot of fun actually with that as well.
No Weapon X for you this war.
What?
I know he's not placed there. It's so weird.
Why don't you take him other places? For those who aren't familiar, I've been taking Weapon X on a very specific node for us in war, and I've particularly enjoyed it because I've been told that for my BG, Weapon X was not a problem, but it's nice to get that fight solved.
It's something we were worried about. Yeah.
There's so many good players in that BG. I don't really feel like they had problems before I arrived. But if I can take it and solve it, then they can send the other players elsewhere when there's tough fights that show up. So that always feels good. Feels good to have a role.
Duke asks, is Hitmonkey quakeable? I don't believe so, because I believe his guaranteed crits can't be evaded, so that would mean his mediums, right?
I don't know. I am not. That'd be something where I would dial up. I'd have to ask you or someone else.
Well, let's check Ant Meg.
This is kind of stuff like it's not a significant amount of damage, but I love this stuff in the game where if you armor break Dragon Man, he does a little bit of damage for you on the defender. I like that stuff. That's how I feel about APOC. Vega. I can't solo him in war. Can't pull him in. Well, yours is APOC, mine is Fury. One day, one of us will eventually get over it by pulling them and dominating them. I will say that is a little bit for me with champions, is if I have them, I tend to be able to fight them so much better. I think it's just helpful to know their animations and things and the way they move. Also, when you have them, if you're like me, you tend to be willing to spend a lot more time diving into their kit and how they work. Oh, yeah. That was a big mistake on my part.
Like, there are certain champions that I have just never been an authority on. Because, people ask me about, well, what are the best uses of Dragon Man? I'm like, I don't know. I'm not even sure I have the 3-star.
Dasite is saying, nah, he ain't. I confirm saying that.
Yeah, he definitely isn't.
Got it. I understand the question. I understand the answer.
Because when an opponent evades him once, he activates his special monkey schemes or whatever, and one of them turns off evade.
There's a lot there. I really like that they the monkey scheme. They really did a nice job, kind of joking, but also somehow making him fearful.
He's very thematic, yeah.
I do think he's someone who as a community we just completely misjudged, though. I think we thought he was going to be this offensive just killer. I think his strong suit is defensive oriented. There just happens to be answers to him. But if you mess up, even if it's a tiny mess up, he will kill you.
Yep, I lost my, what was it? I think it was my sabotage run against B Manny to a hit monkey because I got hit once.
That'll do it. That will do it. Ravi's here, dude. Ravi comments on the videos quite a bit. All the best Vega for 6-star Shang-Chi. I miss him by Oh, that is painful, man. You missed him by 4 million. I am sorry, Robbie.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's painful. That's like Duke. Oh, sorry, guys. Yeah,
Sorry, go on.
no, it was in a different chat. I was fearful the cutoff for him was going to be 150. In fact, I was worried it was going to be even higher than 150. So, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be higher than 150. I knew there were going to be a lot of people over 150, but I didn't think it was going to be 100 of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was with you in that I was sure it was going to be over 100. And while I would have been mildly surprised if the cutoff had crossed 150, I would not have been shocked. So I definitely understood where you were coming from.
I think someone said that someone who traditionally predicts these things and is known for being good at it said they thought it would be 100, and I think that's what got me like, oh no, oh good god,
Yeah,
there's going to be people who are going to try to hit like 105, and I fear they're not even going to be close. So, but that probably all got worked out. So, Mr. Building, they're doing something for who? Who's getting buffed? Or we pretty much know, right? It's War Machine. Oh, Maw. I so as much as I said I'm not expecting a good Maw buff, I happen to have a Maw at a very high sig level naturally. I wouldn't mind if he got a fun buff. Oh, I think we're talking about Nilo. Nilo did a nice buff concept video, and I think that's what we're talking about there. I didn't have time to read back on the whole thing, as this Doom just obliterates me.
Yeah, Ultron probably is going to be usable with just a value update. But, you know, I've gotten my own hopes up on this a couple times, as you know. I had the idea that he could be the tech pre-fight guy because it would be so thematic for who he is and how he like improves other things and builds robots and is constantly improving himself. But that would only be possible with a full rework, so it sounds like they're not going that way. And it's not like they're going to add a third Ultron to the game, so I guess I'll just have to be sad about that.
Uh-oh. I feel like I'm getting that thing that people complain about, how when you do Arena, the game just starts to shut down.
Yeah. Natalie asks, is Tigra more of an attacker or defender? She's pretty well done on both ends. It's funny because she doesn't actually have that much in her kit, her actual kit, that's annoying on defense. It's just her moveset. The fact that she is a mystic and thus can benefit from mystic dispersion, which she does a lot more on defense than she does on attack because of that whole neutralize thing. The fact that she is a mystic and has a difficult moveset just gets people hit sometimes, and she hits hard. But I think more work was put into her as an attacker. She just happened to work out difficult on defense. So Spinnaker's speaking your language, Vega. Says Spider-Ham is the best example of a good joke actually being good in the game. But
oh, it definitely is. But that is. I mean, I had sympathy for like Katie Candy's been actively working on trying to get that changed and talking about how upsetting that is. That is like that's just a known problem. Like
what you just ran into?
Yeah. Like that is a bunch of whatever. I've decided I don't want to go anywhere negative during these streams because I don't need that right now.
Oops. Yeah. See, that's one of those things where it's like I'm totally fine that White Mags is not as good one-on-one as Red Mags, but with all that Red Mags gets, there are definitely some times where I'm like, it'd be really nice if White Mags couldn't miss against metal champions, though.
I would have
if he just had that one thing.
I think that would have been a really nice one thing. Because it's not like there's that many metal champions. Like it's not like all metal champions have a miss mechanic. You know, that is yes, I am 100% with you on that. I don't think that would have been too much.
Because I've almost sent your White Mags Archangel combo to some paths before, and then there's been like a Gilly 99 or a Darkhawk, and I'm like, nope, you need Red Mags for those.
I agree with Nilo that if the Ultron buff is bad, it'll just bother me, and I didn't even do like a full on concept video like he did. It just why buff him to?
Yeah.
to
No,
not
it's
make
kind
him
of
good?
like, I mean, I haven't put that much effort into this Invisible Woman idea. It's just kind of, it was something that occurred to me. What if she was more like Elsa? Because Elsa is also squishy, but I have fun playing her, and I don't take a lot of damage doing so. Basically, just what if she was more like Elsa? But even then, if they buff Invisible Woman and all they do is like, well, now she can hit even harder, then I'm going to be really bummed.
Speaking of incursions, aren't you doing a run soon? I feel like you told me you were doing. Yeah.
Yeah, funnily enough, incursion or Spinnaker says our sabotage run's fun. Never really play incursion, so my experience is lacking there. Well, Spinnaker and I are going to do an incursions run this coming Saturday because we both have a love for weird champions. So my new 565 Luke will probably make an appearance. I actually really like Tigra in incursions. I'll find a way to use her. I'm sure he will use Mojo.
Do you two
But to answer
have
the question, I do think sabotage runs are fun.
a time set for that already, or is that to be
I
determined?
believe we said 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. I would have to double check on that.
Cool. And that's something how did I do? How was my segue on that, everybody? Did that feel too much like was that too canned? Or was it like, speaking of incursions, aren't you doing a run soon? Yeah,
I completely forgot to bring it up though, so thank you.
Yeah, no, I think it does sound fun. I enjoy incursions myself too. I think they're a great way to learn more about the game, and as you're saying, have fun with champions who maybe you don't always play, or they aren't best suited for other roles, or it's just cool to find new ways to play them.
Yeah.
They just take a long time, and time is something I don't always have a lot of. So, but
So
I will
here's
do my
a-
best to check it out. What's that? You said 1 or 4? One Western, 2
Yeah, I
Eastern?
think 1 your time.
Okay. Yeah, I'll try to stop by.
So here's a thought that I had actually while we were talking about this, because Spinnaker and I were talking, and I was saying, like, I actually think Luke's going to be really good in incursions because there's a hack that improves ability accuracy on lights. And that alone lets him stack a bunch of exhaustions.
That will be cool.
But here's the other part of that like, that had me thinking towards the future. If relics are well done, and they allow you to customize your champions to that level where the effect of relics is not like you have to have relics for these champions to be usable at all or to like be able to finish this fight in 5 minutes, because that would really tick me off, especially after going through the 3-minute war timer with the 5 to 6 star transition. But if what relics end up being is basically like micro incursions hacks to an extent, where all these champions that were like, okay, but there's so much fun in incursions because you can do this one thing to their kit and then they're so good. If that's what relics end up being, then I will be extremely happy.
Okay, so here's my question. And sorry, chat, we will get back to you all. And please let us know what you think about these things too.
Sorry, I'm all over the place today.
No, it's good. It's been really helpful because it's allowed me to like kind of try to not die too much because I'm paying attention to other things. And just kind of follow the conversation is that's what I feel like Bam Tipped was explaining they're supposed to be, them being relics in
it's my hope.
in a stream, in his Karate Mike stream. I tried to ask him some very specific questions, and I think he probably didn't see him, right? The people were chatting and whatever. But he did respond to a couple other questions, and I felt like that's what he was saying, like, we're aware they've been done poorly. We've seen that. That's not, he was saying, like, that's not my vision. So I don't know if maybe he's in charge of doing that. But he was speaking with authority and not in like an egotistical way, more just it seemed like that's going to be his thing. And I felt like that's what he was explaining. That sounds really cool to me. Here's my caveat or my quote unquote concern, because we all know they're going to be behind a paywall or whatever, right? That's going to be the new generator of money. And Kabam's a for-profit company. Fine. Okay, I'm moving on. That's another conversation, which I'm happy to have. But that's not the point of this conversation. My concern is, what if now all champions start to come with a fatal flaw?
Oh, I completely agree with you because, um, well, we kind of bypassed it, but Natalie was talking about how the Nova buff was pointless.
Yeah,
And we've talked about this before. The reason the Nova buff was so disappointing is because he has a fatal flaw.
yeah,
Once you get him ramped, there's no way to keep the Furies up. And they gave that to him in a synergy with Airwalker,
yeah,
which feels like dead weight.
yeah,
And if the way the game goes is all champions will now have a Nova with Airwalker style flaw, but instead of you having to bring a useless synergy champion, you can just spend 3,000 units hoping for a chance to get the special gauntlet that makes Nova not suck. Like that's not better.
I think there's a way for them to do it well, where it doesn't feel like great. I've got to get this champion. I've got to awaken them. I've got to get them to 6,200, and now I need a relic. I feel like there's a way for them to not do it that way. I just am not sure how they do it, but I'm curious to see how them try to figure it out. And I know there's been a lot lately about like, oh, Kabam had their worst quarter ever and whatever. I wouldn't have necessarily predicted their worst quarter ever, but it's not surprising to me at all that they did not have a outrageous quarter. Like being the last 3 months of the game, as far as money making, by the way, earnings. In case you haven't seen these videos.
Right. Well, and let's. Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead. It's that.
I was just.
Okay, here I go. I'll do it.
You first.
It's that we had actively talked about how the beginning of the year is traditionally not the exciting part of the year. They've just had the holidays go by. That's when there's a reason why like you get those things in the mail asking you to give away money towards the end of the year with well, in the States anyway, Thanksgiving and Christmas. And like that's just the time of the year. That's just how it works, and the way our like societies kind of work in a way. And Kabam does a lot of fun things. They have the gifting event. Really powerful champions, often with high prestige, tend to come out during that time of the year. And then there's just a lull. And I had kind of forgotten about it, but last year in the first quarter, I think it was like Abyss came out, and something else kind of big came out. There was just nothing like that. And so I'm not really concerned about. I am not concerned about. Let's put it this way: that news does not make me concerned about Marvel Contest of Champions in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. I know what you mean. The thing that I was going to bring up is that if you look at the outside world, we're not going to have that discussion. But whatever you think of it, things are starting to open back up post-COVID.
Yeah. And
in the way I'm reading that is that more people are going out and going to restaurants, going to movies, or just going to their friends' houses, even if they're still being careful. And so there is less time for, hey, babe, why don't we just like stay in and we'll watch a movie and I'll play Arena, which I'm totally not saying, speaking from experience. And so that means less time in game. And we all know the way these games work, the more time you spend in game, the more likely you are to spend on the game.
yes.
Unless you are Brian Grant and he's doing it more for like to make a point at this point. But you guys get where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
I think that the world outside returning is just going to depress profits. It doesn't mean the game is dead.
But here's just a fun counter. Or actually, let's get back to the chat, because I said we were going to get back to the chat, and then I spoke for 10 minutes. Ultron should be the same from a rework perspective. I think Ultron is a champion where if you're going to rework him, because of excitement about him from the comics and then also, of course, movies, I feel like they owe it to us to him to at least be good. I don't know if I want any more red Magnetos in the game, though.
Yeah.
I don't mind him nearly as much as some people I know, but he's really, really good where he's
But
good.
Ultron could be somewhere in the realm of, I mean, that's my wish list, is for him to be somewhere in between Apocalypse and Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, that'd be awesome. That'd be perfect.
Yeah. The game has room for those.
Absolutely. Can't go to a friend's house if you don't have friends.
Checkmate 2021.
Nilo is always spitting truths over here. Y'all big simping. We're on Kabam? Is that with the
No,
our
there was a clairvoyant comment.
Okay. Really tempted to bring Claire to rank 3, even though I am very much
so good.
Yeah, she really is. And I know that you don't need to run suicides with her, so I want to make that clear. But sometimes I find myself stuck running suicides, and I really don't want to remove them, but I need a Mystic champion. And so, like, it just feels like something that will... It's like not even the cherry on top of the cake. It's like a third cherry. But, like, I was saving that Mystic for either Hood, or I do have a Mystic Awakening gem for just something very exciting to come along. But she continues to, in playing the game, just doing various things, find ways to make me want to take her to rank 3. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to hold off.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's probably going to be time soon. Those who pay a lot of attention to my channel and are very detail oriented will notice something right now. Let's see if anyone sees it. Probably no one will. You'd have to watch like every video and be very detail oriented to pick up on something. But it would you'd kind of know what's coming up in a future video.
I only have one guess, but I'll save it for now.
You might know because we talk about this so much. So yeah, don't guess, please. Buddy Lee, what's up, dude? Buddy, you keep coming up, man. Your videos are just outrageously good, and you're educating us all on different champions, man. You got people telling me that I don't have Immortal Hulk ranked high enough because of your videos, and I honestly think they might be right. And I think I don't know if it was in the video itself or in streams where I was saying like, Buddy Lee's showing us the iHulk maybe is more than just very clear cut uses. There might be more there than we thought.
Yeah.
I threw that SP1. Bad timing. Let's see if Killmonger punishes me for it. Nope. I got lucky with the AI. Alright, moving through on Strife. And then Gambit. Man, Buddy Lee showed up at the right time.
EP says if you told me to go into any content without knowing what it was with one champ, I would bring Claire. I agree with you, because for a very long time, before I was trying to really play into hacks, my default incursion team, where I was like, I don't want to switch anyone out, I just want them to be able to handle everything, was Claire, Killmonger, Void. You can cover so many bases with those three.
Claire, Killmonger, Void. Yeah. My
Claire conquers almost everything. You run into evaders, you just switch over to Killmonger. You run into like power gain or healing, you just cannot control with her. You switch over to Void. I mean, they have a lot of immunities between them. It's fantastic.
So it looks like Sabby and AC344. Yeah. So that video will come out probably Thursday, guys. When I got Shang-Chi, a new plan started formulating for me. For those of you who don't know, my kind of plan to end up with the prestige that my account has. That took a long time. That took like 8 or 9 months to have, from like beginning to end. A lot of things had to fall into place, and of course, like new information comes in. But I did awaken Strife, and I'm really excited. And that was one of the things that needed to fall into place for me. So I'm really pumped up to get that out.
Yeah.
One
less gem to spend.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, it's one more gem to hold on to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited. Oh, I see. You're just saying it the other way around. I get what you're saying. Dreamin', I hope killed you this. I can't believe anyone killed you, Dreamin'. That's weird. Dude, actually, Dreamin', I have not seen all the latest war videos because it was the weekend, and I just usually don't have time to watch on the weekends. Where are you guys in war?
They've been crushing it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been doing worse than us, but they've been playing better.
Well, it's not a surprise, right? They were very good. it's not a surprise that they're crushing it. They're very good to begin with, and then they added Work in Progress and J-Nick. Like,
Yeah,
I mean, no
and
offense.
both of whom have been doing quite well, so I've heard.
Yeah, and no offense to whoever, I assume left the Alliance. I'm sure you were very good at the game as well. But J-Nick and Work in Progress are excellent players.
Freeman says, of course, yeah, we would smoke you. We'll see, man. I'm sure we'll face each other before the end of the season.
We will have a nice, fun bet on that, Dreamin'. A nice, fun bet. That'll be very, very public.
Your average is definitely better than ours, but our best definitely beats your worst. We'll see. Yeah, Nilo, Dreamin' is nothing if not confident.
Killmonger's a lot more scared than people think. Killmonger's awesome, Natalie. You know that.
Oh, I forgot to reply to that way back when. I think Snoop's a lot took off, but
They were asking me for a video in the style of my Mr. Fantastic one on Killmonger. If I do another one of those, it'll be on him.
I would love it.
That's
if
all
you
I'll
did
say
that.
there.
I would love it. I'm starting to run out of champions I enjoy playing.
I know what you mean. All right, well,
Yeah.
Old Man Logan and Juggernaut it is.
Yeah, that's how it feels. Like, to the point where it's like, oh no, if I make a mistake, am I going to know how? Do I know this champion well enough to pull this out? Like, can I recover from an error? I'm also trying to figure out how I'm going to do this. This might get ugly. This might be it, folks. This might be the end of the grind.
That's doable. Just Dex Doom's L2.
Yeah. How many times?
Spinnaker asks if you have 6-star mojo.
Don't, dude. And it is it might be a good thing for my account's prestige that I do not, because I do have a 6-star Mystic Gem, and I have a chunk of Mystic 6 stones. If I were to awaken, if I was to get him, I would be very tempted to awaken him, sig him up and take him to rank 3. I really like Mojo Spin. Like, I know you and I kind of met on the comment section of the ranking videos. I truly enjoy playing Mojo, and you've shown me a lot on how to play him. I kind of want to at some point go back and play him again now that I have a better understanding on him. I would be very tempted to rank 3, awaken, and max him out.
Yeah. I would as well, because he's just so different from all the other mystics I have.
Absolutely.
Like, you know that I am a fan of Sorcerer, but at the same time, I see zero reason to rank her because I have a rank 5 Sorcerer, a rank 5 Doom, a rank 5 Claire, a rank 3 Claire, a rank 2 Doom that's going up. Like, I just don't need her.
Sorcerer?
Yeah, I don't need her as a ranked 6-star. She'd be fun, but she wouldn't add a lot.
That's, what's weird is that because I think she's so good, right? And I was just telling you that it's Claire who keeps. Oh, did I finally mess up? I'm trying really hard not to lose this fight.
Yeah, I think you got it.
I know I made it worse on myself by messing up a couple of those SP1 evades, but man, it's Claire who's the one who keeps tempting me to use the Mystic R3, the Mystic Tier 5 CC, as opposed to Sorcerer, despite me absolutely loving Sorcerer.
Yeah. AC says I have Sorcerer as both a 565 and a rank 3, but don't have any copies of Doom or Claire. Yeah, then I would do that too. Because I use Sorcerer fairly frequently in AQ, and she's fantastic. And
if that was my only, mystic in that category of things, I would absolutely want another one for war or questing or whatever I was doing.
Dreamin', what do you rate my Omega Red playing skills? It is really hard to lock in no spores at all. And I did. Oh, he left. That was going to be good. He would have had fun with that. But I locked in 0 spores. So,
as J. Nick said, he used his entire lunch break to come and trash talk.
that means a lot to me because you know how important talking trash is to him.
I know. He cares so much.
That is a huge compliment to you and me, I think. Because he had other places he could have gone and talked trash to people. And he came here.
Who might have been easier targets.
Probably. Yeah, because he can just type here. He doesn't even get to like really respond fully. It's not a fair trash talking session. People say Vulture's good.
He's okay.
This also started to feel weird of having a point where I'm starting to really have to look at the matchups. That's the other thing that's happening now.
That makes sense.
I mean, I guess losing your streak really isn't the end of the world, right? I mean, it's just 5 rounds. I got to use my 5 stars at some point anyway. I would just prefer not to.
Yeah.
Or is it a bigger deal than I'm realizing?
I don't know. So I was still under the impression that it's the first 15 that's where you're still going slower until you ramp up fully again. But I don't know.
I mean, this is definitely the difference between just doing some milestones and genuinely trying to grind out the champion. Savvy, thanks for hanging out, buddy. It makes this all so much more fun. This has been a very quick hour and 45 minutes. Can't believe we've been going that long for me. And I'm sure the ones off stream are going to feel a lot longer. Did I see Vega try to shock Doom? No, Nilo, I thought if I had evaded those SP1s properly, I was going to try to shock Doom because I thought you were still there, and I was going to ask you if you liked it. That's the kind of advanced level interaction you get on a stream like this, is you get someone who is willing to maybe sabotage their own fight for a good joke, for someone who might not even be paying attention. Just pulled 6-star Vision Arcus today. I'm kind of psyched to test him out. Never used him. I like Arcus, dude. I think it's our current war meta. That is why I have not brought him up. But I genuinely like him. Nilo's still here. His awakened ability, is it purely defensive, or is there a second part in his awakened ability that's important for offense? I can't recall.
In what?
For Vision Arcus. Like, I'm used to... I'm a lot of my Arcus knowledge comes from fighting him. So I'm aware of his, his shrug. But I feel
it's defensive, but that kind of shrug has offensive uses.
Yes. There's not a second part to it, though?
I don't believe so. Let me pull it up real quick, because as I think Nilo just shouted out, Karate Mike did recently do a fairly in-depth video on Arcus.
Oh, really?
And he does cover the offensive uses of his SIG. Yeah, that's all his SIG is. Non-damaging debuff, 30 to 100% chance, scaling with signature level to purify one of each non-damaging debuff on him. Cannot trigger more than once every 9.5 seconds, and that part does not scale. But as a small spoiler, or maybe a reason for you to go check out Mike's vid, that applies to stuns, which makes him an incredible encroaching stun counter.
Oh, that would be a big deal. I think my sense, the limited amount of playing of him I've done, is he's a patient play, though, right? Like letting
a little bit, yeah.
I feel like there was an additional reason. Again, like I have not dove into him deeply, But there was something about why I wanted to get to the SP3 too.
For Arcus?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because it makes his ice aura or whatever it's called extend for the entire map. So he can inflict his cold snap, his armor breaks from anywhere.
Okay, there it is. I was thinking too hard. You could probably see it on my face. I was like, and now I've died. And now Corvus.
Yeah, Spinnaker. Sorry.
Now Corvus wants to finish me off.
Spinnaker says I'm not a fan of it because I don't feel comfortable with it unless it's max sig. Yeah, on offense, I think it's very much like Gilly 99's Shrug or like Captain America Infinity War with a skill on the team, where it's like, unless it's guaranteed, you're not going to run in there and use him for encroaching stun at sig 100. And yeah, Spinnaker says something that I definitely have before, which is defensively a lower sig is way more dangerous.
Yeah, and PPC and Arcus got him all the way through after we ran the baby count. No, that's a big deal. I like Arcus. All right. I'm starting to wear down a little bit here, and I think I got to check on a few calls. So maybe we'll do one more round, and then I'll have to get back to this. I'm simultaneously like encouraged and discouraged. I don't know if this is a good amount of points to have gotten or not. It feels like a lot for one session, but it's not a ton either, is it?
Good luck with the Doom Hunt, AC. Definitely took me a while too.
Okay. And people had win streaks of like 900, right? For people who placed. I think that's what we saw.
That sounds about right.
And then 6 stars take 10 hours to refresh, I believe I saw. Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm not going to dive into that too much because I'll end up Robin plus Carnage. Yeah, I should have done that. That would have been fun. Who did we pull in war? Black something, I think it was.
Yeah, MRBCK or something. Mr. Black's Alliance. I don't know. I'm not familiar with them, but apparently they've been doing pretty well.
Ooh, that was fun. I have no clue about Red Goblin. I mean, I've watched Campo's videos. I saw MSD did a few, and I've watched those too. But I don't play the guy. But when I do, he's fun. Yeah. But it's like this. I'm just doing 5-hit combos. It's not really like advanced play of the champion himself. There we go. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I think it's time for me to take a little break here. And there might be an afternoon stream or something like that, but I'm going to have to be pretty focused. We'll be back at it tomorrow regardless, though, whether it's Arena or some sort of like maybe even testing Shang-Chi. But I think it's going to be Arena. This was fun enough. This wasn't that bad. I don't think too many crazy things showed up. I was keeping an eye on my phone and my emails as well. Man Falcon, sorry, man. Sorry, I missed that. That's really cool to hear, and I like it. I hope you're doing well, buddy. And all right, I'm gonna jump off. DL, thank you so much for being on the call, man. Anything? Oh, and huge thank you to everyone. There's so many donations today, but appreciate it. And OG Highline Rob, of course, and I think it was Mr. WTF. I think it was, and there was another one. So we'll try to remember that. But and thank you everyone for hanging out. You guys make this go by a lot faster. It was actually fun. And DLL, anything to add, buddy?
No, I'm good.
Cool.
See y'all.
All right, take care, everybody. We'll see you soon.